And the antennas on the balcony were from the 50s, 60s time frame. And it had those capabilities and variable loops in them and huge, long ELF type antennas that were off of Columbia, HMCS Columbia. So I got to working with that, understanding it, and putting it all together, and that's when I got all the effects in the apartment. Most of the effects were more so the levitation, but there was a lot of disruptive metals too that appeared once in a while. And you can understand that the mayor of New Westminster, Mayor M. Wright, got a lot of complaints in from these waves going out into people's apartment buildings and houses, and ordered the fire marshal to close me down. Okay, understandably so. Who wants that kind of nonsense? At the other lab at 13th and Kingsway, we had disappearance of the actual building and metal shelves. That was a huge setup, by the way. It was the same setup that was used on 3744 East Hastings Street, Vancouver, and I got to keep this short. Somebody's coming to pick me up, so why did I do that? Who was involved in this? Mr. Sabao for the Canadian Department of Defense, Dr. Lauren Kuhn, Dr. Loken, Dr. Wilson, Colonel Timothy Deere, Dr. Colonel Larson, Mr. Sabao, Bob Jack, Deputy Prime Minister Eric Nielsen at the time, George Hathaway, Alex Pissarro, and who else? Somebody else. I think that's basically it. And that was 1986, March 24, one full day of filming and writing stuff up. And you can see by the letters from Wilson and Lauren Kuhn, they had fun there. So what they did with the actual videos, I don't know. My member of Parliament, Chuck Cook, tried to get him, but he was answered back by letter by Department of National Defense saying this is a matter of national security, and we ask you to limit your involvement in trying to retrieve the videotapes. I think he said videotapes or letters, whatever it is. But I did get the trip report from Dr. Kuhn. I have that in my files, and some photographs and other things that Dr. Kuhn has kindly shared with me. The same happened with the U.S. government people. Los Alamos destroyed the tapes, routinely destroyed all the videotapes. Colonel Alexander was rather upset over that. He didn't film, but Los Alamos and their team and I think Naval Research Labs filmed for those weeks or months or whatever it was. That was a long ordeal, but they seem to know what they're doing. They had all kinds of tubes. One gentleman was carrying tubes, little gas tubes, different shapes, sizes, different gases, and he says this, and he wore a spectrum analyzer around his neck, and he says, this tells me more than all the fancy scientific equipment of these little tubes. So he's measuring all that energy in the walls and mirror. The mirror exploded in that building, 144 Riverside Drive.